Hi everyone, this is Alix from Alix Villa Coaching. So what I wanted to do today was to read to you one of my latest blog article that I wrote, because I know some of you much rather either watch or either listen. So I thought I would just share with you something that has made a big difference for me, therefore, which was really important for me to share with you in a format that suits you. So you can find a written article on my website, alixwcoaching.com, in the blog part. Here we go. So this is about my human journey to stop seeing myself as wrong and broken. You're going to see me reading, right? Because it's on my computer and I'm reading and I'm recording it. So I feel with less and less lasting energy. I'd love myself to just do what I want myself to do, to obey, to be rational, to stop when I want to, and to start when I want to go to sleep when I'm tired, to eat when I'm hungry, and stop when I'm not, to work during the week and be present with my kids when my work is over. In short, to be rational, predictable, and consistent. Because that feels normal to me, like how a well-functioning person should live. That feels like a safe place for me to be. I think it's my underlying unconscious assumption for being a good human and a successful person. But the reality of being me is very different, because it looks like sometimes I stay up late to watch Netflix, and when I'm actually exhausted. I eat when I'm not hungry anymore. I want to be alone when I'm with people I love. I want to be with people when I'm alone. I don't feel an intimate connection with someone I love dearly. Or I don't do exercises that I know could revitalize me when I'm tired and low on energy. That's my real life. And all those behaviors feel off, right? They feel like an anomaly, they feel wrong and problematic and something shameful. All of those behaviors feel unsafe. And with time, if not acknowledged, understood, and lovingly processed, they become familiar insecurities. They become our life work and identity. They became my life work and identity. They are like the enemy line that is dangerous and that needs to be dealt with quickly. And with time, that line becomes a ditch, a massive hole and separation so far within us that our body physiologically and literally stops flowing. It stops communicating with itself and stops functioning normally. We then start having physical symptoms like aches, cramps, illnesses, trauma. That's what happened to me in May, June last year, or this year. And also mental and emotional symptoms like depression, isolation, because of too much shame to carry, demotivation and exhaustion because of too much work that we put in, despite our exhaustion, to compensate for those parts that we dislike, that we are ashamed of, those wrong parts. Simply because of this underlying assumption that we should always be logical and rational beings. We should always do what we need and committed to. We should always say what we want. And we should always do what's best for us in the long term. You know, like a cog in a machine. Inputs equals outputs, always. So that we feel safe within ourselves. Then this becomes our life's filter of us and the world around us. What doesn't fit in that approach and sticks out means danger to our brain. And what do we do in face of danger? What all animals do. We either freeze, it looks like we shame, we disconnect, we hide, we isolate ourselves, Or we fight. That looks like we judge, we compare, we blame, we get impatient, we get angry with ourselves and others. Or we flight. It generally looks like we escape the current reality through numbing ourselves. And that can be through overeating, over-drinking, over-Netflixing, scrolling numblessly on social media, over-working out. Or we fawn. That looks like we please others, but not ourselves. We fit in at our own expenses, and we don't listen to ourselves. All of these to survive, all to protect ourselves from these perceived dangers. Unfortunately, the more we stay in that survival state of our nervous system, the worse we feel about ourselves and the more out of balance we become. So that state becomes familiar and actually starts to feel safe to us. So even if those parts of us we judge, we hate, those behaviors we wish they didn't exist, the more often we are in those survival responses, the more we build proof for ourselves that our underlying assumption is true, that something is wrong with us if we are that reactive, that erratic, unreliable human beings. Do you recognize it happening for you too, within you, outside of you? I certainly do. So what now? Well, when I realized that it was what I was doing, I felt scared. I felt ashamed of myself, of my erratic behavior. I felt threatened, abnormal, and unsafe. I judged it to make it go away. I escaped it not to think about it. And I judged myself to teach me a lesson that I'm wrong and that I should stop. But what if this was the normal, right? What if our non-logical, reactive, disobeying wild behaviors were actually 100% normal? And that we actually needed them. We need those changes in behaviors to protect ourselves from dangers, from real dangers, quickly, automatically, to keep us safe. What if these behaviors are simply outlets for our body, for our subconscious, for our soul, to communicate and to release things, to tell us to pay attention by doing something abnormal? Otherwise, we won't pay attention. We won't see the need if we act as business as usual. What if it was nothing to be ashamed of, to hide, to be angry, or to fix, but only something to pay attention to take time for, to look at, to create a space without judgment, but full of curiosity and love for yourself? And by doing that, you know what happened? We understand ourselves. We discover ourselves and our needs, our values, and our individuality. We learn the manual for ourselves, the map for our body, for our soul, and for our life's journey. By intentionally creating that sacred space when we do something that we might qualify as wrong, off, or abnormal, that part of us we didn't want to do, feel, or think, we get an opportunity to get to know ourselves truly, to like ourselves, to love ourselves, to actually be with ourselves, to create an intimate relationship with ourselves, to feel familiar and to trust ourselves. In short, to feel safer with ourselves. So actually, us not doing what we wanted, not being, that good cog in the machine, not staying in business as usual, is how we evolve as human beings. It is how an intimate relationship is created, which in my opinion is what we're actually trying to do through our life, is create that intimate relationship with ourselves that feels safe to be us, feels safe to be seen. And those unwanted behaviors, they kind of provoke that get to know each other opportunity with ourselves. So when you see yourself having a drastic change in behavior, facing an unexpected event, do you like it or not? What I love to do is to invite you to take a pause, remember this note that you've just read or that you've just listened to me read. Breathe and consider that nothing is going wrong right now. That this is simply how life is. It is how we are supposed to function as humans. That this precise moment is your body and universe's way to reconnect with yourself, with your needs and your values, with your unique purpose and beautiful uniqueness. It is an opportunity to feel more whole, not to create more separation. And actually, it's our way to self-regulate, to keep a balance, order, and evolution as a self-regenerative cycle of life. And I'll let you with those final words. You might feel uncomfortable right now because we've been told that what makes us humans and not machine, our unpredictable, erratic behaviors, what constitute our very own cycle of self-regulation, of life, of evolution, of innovation, of creation is unsafe. All those irregularities, they are unsafe. That's what we've been told. And it's okay. It's normal. And it doesn't mean that it's true. It means that you are getting closer to the truth if you feel uncomfortable with what I've said. This is the truth I have discovered for myself over the last few months and years, to be fair. The more I see all of me as perfectly normal, as a perfectly safe place to be, the more alive, the more aligned, the more loving and purposeful I feel. With ease, with harmony and trust. What if that could be true for you too? That's it. Lots of love to all of you. If you want to share your thoughts, your questions, please reach out on social media at Alix Coaching or write an email at alixwheeler.coaching@gmail.com. And I love to hear what that triggered, resonated, just brought up for you. And I hope it will be helpful. Have a lovely rest of your day. Bye-bye.